Hello and welcome to this week's Children's Church. I'm Shirley. Now, for today's story, I'm going to go back to the Old Testament. A lot of you have gone back to school this week. A lot of older people are coming out of their homes after a long time of lockdown and having to be isolated from each other. And I can imagine that quite a few of us are feeling a little bit scared and a little bit anxious. So I thought I would tell you the story of a boy who, despite being scared, went up against a giant and won. His name was David, and he was the youngest of a family of boys. And his job was to go out into the fields and look after his father's sheep. Now, sometimes lions and bears would try and attack the sheep, and David would fight them off with nothing more than his sling. Now, one day, David's dad, Jesse, asked him to take some food to his brothers who were camped out with the army. Now, the Israelites were having an argument with the Philistines, so they were on opposite sides. The Israelites were on one side of the valley on a hill, and the Philistines was on a hill on the other side. Now, David took the food to his brothers, and whilst he was there, Goliath came down into the valley, and he shouted to the Israelites, "You send me your best soldier, and I will fight them, and if I win, you will be our slaves. But if you win, we will serve you." Well, Goliath was huge. He was about 9 feet tall. His armour weighed hundreds of pounds. And the Israelites just looked and shook with fear. Nobody would go out to fight him. David looked at Goliath, and David thought he's nothing more but a bully. With God's help, I know I can defeat him. So off he went to speak to the king. Now, King Saul just looked at David, and he said, no, you're just a boy. You can't fight Goliath. But David said, yes, I can. I have killed lions and I have killed bears, and I will ask God to protect me. So Saul looked at David and said, okay, I'll give you all my armour. Well, David put on King Saul's armour, and he couldn't move. It was just far too big for him. So he took it all off again and said, no, I'll go as I am. David picked up his sling and 5 stones and put them in his little pouch and his shepherd's staff, and off he went to fight Goliath. As David stepped out onto the field, Goliath just looked at him and laughed. He said, You come to fight me? Okay. Goliath started to walk towards David. David started to run towards Goliath, and he picked up a stone from his pouch and put it in his sling. He twirled it around his head and he let it fly through the air, and smack! It hit Goliath right between the eyes. Goliath fell down, did not move. The Philistines saw that Goliath was down. They looked at the Israelites looked at them, and the Philistines ran away as fast as their legs could carry them. And the Israelites all ran to David, cheering him. and thanking God that David trusted in his Lord. Now, give me just a second to turn my camera around again, and we'll sort out some craft. Okay? Right then, I think I'm all set up. So, for my first activity, all you'll need is a paper cup or a yogurt pot, it doesn't matter which. Put the paper cup down on your paper, draw around it so you have a circle, and then all you need to do is ask your mum to help you to cut the circle out. Okay? And on your circle you can draw Goliath's face. Now, he was wearing a helmet, so what we've got to do is put there. Remember, he's got a nose and around an eye, two eyes, a mouth. He was mean. Okay, and I reckon he would have had a beard. So there you go. And all you need to do is colour that in. Now, take your paper cup or your yogurt pot and get a piece of string. Again, ask your mum to help. I put mine on the little drawing, a needle with a big eye. Thread the string through, very easy to do. Okay, make sure you knot it, a very, very big knot. Very easy. Now, there you go. Now, at the other end of the string, okay, what you will need to do is to get some silver foil. Any silver foil, if it's been used, all the better. Okay, and put your strings in the centre, and just put a little bit of sellotape or glue to keep it there, and then turn it into a ball. Okay, there you go. Stick your picture of Goliath onto your cup, and then you have got to see how many times you can get the silver ball into your cup. All right, good game. Now, my second one, what you'll need is a paper plate, and we'll see if we can make Goliath's shield. So, plain old paper plate or a round piece of card, that will do. Take some silver foil and just wrap it around the trap or your plate. Right, there you go. Now you can glue this or sellotape it into place. You will be able to do it so much more neater than me. Now take 2 strips of card, make them into a circle and sellotape them onto the back of your shield so that you can hold your shield. Now you can decorate this on the front any way you like. Okay. There you go. So, silver foil can be a lot neater. Now, on the other side, you can cut out paper shapes, but I thought, just to remind us that Goliath was killed by a boy with only a sling. We could make a sling shape out of some old lollipop sticks, or even some pieces of card that you can just stick or sellotape on. Okay, just like that. And you too can have Goliath's shield. You can decorate this any way you like. Okay, so that's 2 craft ideas for you. And perhaps if you're going to use a yogurt pot or a cup, you might even do one with David on them. Okay, give me a minute to turn the camera around and we'll say our final prayer. Hi and welcome back. I'm back the right way. Now, for our final prayer. David was very special because David used to write psalms. They're kind of poems. And there's one psalm that he wrote about, and it was, I think, about the battle with Goliath, and it is Psalm 56. And I want to bring in verse 3 of that psalm, because I think at the moment a lot of people, young and old, are feeling very anxious and very scared, and they don't always quite understand why. Now, these feelings are okay and these feelings are normal, but it is very important that if you're feeling like this, especially if you're going out to school or because you're leaving the home for the first time for a long time, that you tell somebody. You must tell your mum, your dad, your granddad, our aunt, our uncle, an adult in your life that you can trust. And if you are an adult, a friend or your partner, it's very important that you talk about these things. And that way, you'll understand that we're all feeling the same way, and it's okay. Things will get better. Okay? Now, I brought in adults as well because I know quite a few adults watch children's church videos and they enjoy them, and that's fine. I like that. Okay, so today's prayer, and I'm going to start with Psalm 56 verse 3, and it's very simple. Lord, when I am afraid, I will trust in you. Help us, dear Lord. Help us at this moment with this pandemic. Help us to all understand, as David stood before Goliath, scared and trusting in you, that we can stand with this pandemic around us, scared. We can trust in you. Lord, be with us all. Keep us all in your loving care until we meet again. Amen. I hope you've enjoyed today's video and today's story. I'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.